So, uh, in this webinar, I will tell you how to be a sales superstar in next 30 days without worrying about how to generate leads and convert a prospect into a strong business. Now, you know that sales is the key to everything. No business can be done without knowing sales, right? No matter how good is your product, if you cannot sell, you are nowhere. And at the same time, if you know how to pitch, where to pitch and sell, no matter how average is your product, if it fits the requirement, it will sell. So that means for any business or anything to sell in the market, you should know how to sell it. And if you don't know how to sell it, no matter how good is your product, whatever you do, you're not going to make money, right? In fact, the entire economy or whatever you see around you is a part of sales. Nothing is possible without sales. You go to a fruit seller, he is selling you the fruit. Sales is involved. You go to a showroom, you buy a car or a bike, sales is involved. Any company is into sales. Every company is into sales, I would say. So, if you are into a startup or you are into any business, or maybe you are planning to come into any business, but you don't have any prior experience of sales, you will have to learn how to sell first. If you don't know how to sell, things are not going to work for you, right? Do you agree with me? Yeah, that's great. Now, the thing is that I'll share you a story about myself, that how I generated around 32 lakhs in just 7 months of leaving my job in an entirely brand new market in just 7 months. Now, you will ask why I had to change the industry. Well, circumstances didn't favor. When I was in the job, I had to leave the job, and ultimately, I had to choose a work, a business. Now, why I had to change the industry? In the past, I was actually working with the capital goods industry, and to start a business in the same industry in which I had the experience involved a huge investment, and I didn't have any finances or any financial support. So I had to do everything on my own. That is my own story. It's my own story which I'm sharing. So when I left the job due to the crisis in the company, I had to choose a business with least investment. So I chose the apparel industry as I only had two options: food and clothing. Obviously, you know that food and clothing are the lowest investment businesses. So, with the advice of one of my friends who was into this apparel industry, I started a small work to collaborate with the export companies. And later, I learned within a very short period of time how to work with fabrics, stitching, and other dynamics, along with the tying up of tying up with the export houses. Now I had to create a profile, and I did that by leveraging through my contacts and through the contacts of other people also. And by the end of 7 months of leaving the job, I had already dispatched and received two major orders and payments from an export house in Mumbai. Now, that is the beauty of pitching yourself and building the trust that convinces your customers. And I want the same thing for others. I want to help people applying the same sales techniques which I used to make this revenue in a very short period of time. Right? So, first of all, let me tell you who is this training for? This training is for those who know nothing about sales and want to learn it, right? Suppose you don't know anything about sales, but you have an idea, you are working on that idea, and maybe probably you want somebody, you will hire in the future a person who will be into sales and doing sales, okay? But you yourself don't have any idea. Trust me, if you don't yourself have any idea of sales, you cannot manage a salesperson, right? So you should have an idea and you should yourself be good and on the front foot to work on sales if you are going to plan to start a business or a startup or whatever. So if you know nothing about sales, this webinar is for you. Okay. If you know something about sales but want to be an expert, again, it will help you a lot with the tips, with the guidances I'll give you. Okay. And if you have your own business or even if you work for another company into sales or business development, this webinar is for you, right? So now this webinar is for first those who know nothing about sales, second who know something about sales, and third those who own a business or work for a company in the business development and still are struggling after years of practice and work. And at the last, this training is for those who stay till the end. Who is it not for? If you already are a master in sales and business development and you have been doing it for years, I think you should do some other job and this webinar is not for you. Okay. And for those who have some other important works apart from this, they can go, they can leave. Okay. So, as I said, this webinar is for those who have nothing, who have who have no knowledge about sales and want to be an expert in it, and this is not for those who are already a masters in sales. Okay. And if you have other important works to do, you can go and do that work. This webinar is not for you. It is only for the very serious people who actually are very serious about it. Now, why should you attend and what will you learn? Okay. So, first of all, I must tell you that you are sitting at point A, and this is not a tutorial. This is not a tutorial in which I'll just keep on speaking. No, it is a method, step by step method of taking you from point A to point B. Right? It is a step by step method to change your thoughts about sales and make you hands on with the skill so that you never feel nervous about it. You never feel scared about it. You never feel afraid of it. So it is all about taking you from point A, where you are currently right now, to point B. Now, the problem is that you will think that, oh, I can learn sales from anywhere. I can attend YouTube tutorials, or you can watch some Google, visit Google and visit some websites and all, do all those things and learn the tips of sales. But the sale, I tell you that sales is more about practicing, and we will practice it It is a step by step method of taking you from point A to point B and making and bringing the change in you. Okay. And there is one more drawback about the internet is that there is all an information overload, and we don't know how much is relevant for us to achieve the goals, right? And here in this webinar, you will just come to know what is just very relevant for you to succeed in sales. Okay. So this is it. And if you stay till the end, there is a free gift also. 5-step method to scale your business fast. It's an ebook which I'll be mailing you once you complete, only for those who stay till the end. So one ebook will be there for on 5-step method to scale your business in a fast way. It will be a practical hands-on guide to move. Okay. And secondly, there will be another book on how to be successful in any new industry. So if you are new to any industry, how to be successful, it will be about all the practical experience from those people who have been through it. So it will be quite helpful for you if you are planning to get into an industry and want to succeed in that, and you are clueless. So how to be fast, how to be quick learner in that industry, and how to be successful and compete with those who are already there in that industry. Okay. So these are the 2 ebooks which you will be receiving in your mail if you stay till the end. Okay. So be with me. Now I'll just share my own journey, my epiphany story. See, I've been doing sales for last 15 years now, and it has been a long journey. I have worked with many multinationals like CNH Industrial, Escorts, Putzmeister, Cargotec. These are really big groups, and I have rose from down to up to the senior levels, and I know this, and I have learned it the hard way. But you will get to the cheat in a very easy way. You will get the shortcuts. You will practice it, hone the skills, and that will change you and the way you think about sales and the way you do sales in the future. So, in this entire 15 years of time, there are major, there though I learned a lot, but there are some major points which I have jotted down. First is that inbound selling is the most effective way of selling. Now, you will be asking that what is inbound selling? Now, inbound selling is in which you create the circumstances around your customer in such a way that ultimately the customer comes to you and buys the product from you or the service from you. You create this situation like that, okay, around him. Outbound selling is more like directly going and pitching and telling, oh, this is my product or this is my service, please take it. Inbound selling is more about creating a situation in which the customer approaches you and buys you. Now, why it is more effective and most effective is that when you create such situations around the customer, you are at the commanding position. You can definitely, with the high value proposition, you can charge good price and be profitable. So chances of being profitable is far better in the inbound selling. As far as outbound selling is concerned, in which you go and approach the customer and you uh, show him the product, the chances of negotiations and getting the profits are very less in your favor. But in case of inbound selling, you are always at the upper hand. Second, always put yourself in the shoes of the customer. You must have heard it many times, but you need to practice it. How to think like a buyer. Don't be a pushy salesman. Relate to him. Even if you have a sales pressure, whatever it is, you are never going to make sales if you don't think like him, no matter how hard you try. So always think like a buyer. Think about him, that in case if you were in his position, what you would have done. If you can buy your own product in the way you are pitching, your buyer can buy it. Okay. Now, the third point is, people don't buy the product. Yes, they don't buy the product, or they don't buy the service until and unless they are very, very needy about that service or that product. Yes, you heard it right. People mostly buy a personality which is being presented, and that personality is nobody else but you. It is about how impressed he is from your personality, or your understanding, or how you have related yourself to him. If he finds you related to himself, if he feels that trust, he'll buy the product. He might negotiate, but he will definitely buy it. Okay? So people don't buy the product, people buy the personality. Okay? Now, personality doesn't necessarily mean that you have to look good or something like that. Personality means how you have related yourself to him, how you have connected and built the trust with him, or her for that matter. This one should understand. Now, above that, there is one more thing, is that being street smart is very important. Now, you will be thinking that what does street smart mean here? Well, as per the definition, smart means uh, taking decisions as per the current situation. You know, there is no rule book for sales. There is no rule book of sales. Every person has a different style. You have to create your own style. Now, being street smart means you have to understand that what value proposition you are giving to the customer, and whether it is fitting him or not. And if it's not fitting, how you can fit it. That is the smartness you should have. Or maybe cleverness, if for that matter, if you want to use that word. So being street smart is really important. Okay. So you have to, even if you don't have that solution, you have to make it in such a way that it fits the bill. It fits into the criteria of the customer. So you have to be really street smart, and it is very, very important. Most of the deals just go out of the hand because people are not that street smart. They are not very smart to, make it a tailor made solution for the customer. You should know also how to engage your customers with good storytelling. Now, this is the fifth point, and the last point is that engagement with the customer. As I already said, that people buy personality, they don't buy product until and unless they want it desperately. Okay. Otherwise, most of the sales people buy personality. So, to engage your customer and to build a trust, to make an impression of your personality, you should be a good storyteller. And yes, good storytelling means you have to craft some story around that person or that product in a very subtle way, in such a way that it builds trust even before pitching the product. That is very important. Don't be a bore. Simply going and sitting in front of the customer and just telling that this is blah 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 my product and this is my service. I can give you this much discount and this all. You know, your customer has heard this many times. He's bored. He's fed up. He doesn't want to entertain all this. But at the same time, if you change the way you pitch, okay, instead of being direct, if you know how to create and carve a story, how to build a discussion, how to build a trust in the mind of that customer subconsciously, how to build trust in his subconscious. Trust is built in the subconscious, right? So if you know the art of good storytelling, how to create and craft some story, maybe that story is not real, but it should look real, and in the subconscious, that customer, the person should start trusting your personality. That is the power of good storytelling. These are the things which I have learned in these 15 years of my career, and I tell you that these things don't fail. They don't fail at all. In fact, always consider your customer as a long term relationship. You will get referrals from him, you will get other businesses from him. Okay, so I have discovered this the hardest way in a long period of time, but you will get a cheat and get the easy way to reach there in a short time. So, as I said, that you will move from point A to point B. That means whatever you are now, you are afraid of it, you were scared of it, or whatever about the sales. But once you go and understand this step by step method, you will be more confident about the whole thing, and obviously you will be at the point B, which actually takes a lot of time, years of practice, right? But you get this easiest way. So now I tell you, most of you know this person, right? Everybody knows him. Yeah, Steve Jobs. Now, what do you think? Was he a genius or a master salesman? Well, there are many thoughts about him. Some say he was a genius who created an awesome product that nobody can refuse to buy at a higher price. Some say he was a master salesman with just a product that was slightly better from the average. Now it's a thought, you can decide who he was. But for me and many others, it is for sure that he knew very well how to place his product in a highly competitive market. Okay, so he knew everything about sales. He was a master salesman. Okay, do you think that the iPhone products really have a premium of, say, more than 40% over the competition? around 40 to 30, 30 to 40%. Yes, iPhones or any Mac or anything, they sell at a premium of 30 to 40%, right? Now it's an entire debate about that. You can go and visit many YouTube videos about it. On Google there are web pages, and there are so many discussions about that, that really the iPhones or the iMacs, do they deserve that price? But this is the power of pitching. This is the power of pitching, that even today you are ready to shell out extra 30% or 40% amount for those products. I don't know about that whether he was a genius or not, but yes, for sure, he was a master salesman. Okay, so he made two statements. Now, Steve Jobs said that every sale is a result of meticulously planned and acted upon work, hard work. Okay, every sale is a result of meticulously planned and acted upon hard work. Just because you make, say, 30, 100 prospecting calls today, this week, or this month, or make a wonderful presentation and have done the best sales meeting ever, it doesn't guarantee you that you're going to hit the target. Okay, let us repeat the statement again. Every sale is the result of meticulously planned and acted upon hard work. Yes, even before going to the customer, there is a hell lot of preparation about the sales. You have to meticulously plan. You have to meticulously plan the sales, pre-sales, sales, and post-sales. Okay, just because you are making 30 calls or 100 calls in a week or in a month, or maybe you have given a wonderful presentation to the customer, doesn't guarantee you success. It has to be meticulously worked down and acted upon step by step. And this is what you need to practice to be a master in sales, to be a superstar in sales, right? Okay. Now, the second point is that know your product well. This is what Steve Jobs always emphasized on, that you should know your product well. It creates enthusiasm, it gives courage, and helps in responding to objections satisfactorily. Okay. So, what he said is that, see, if you don't know your product well, you don't have much to speak. Okay. At the same time, if you know the product well, it will automatically create your enthusiasm. And when I say know your product well, that means everything in and out related to it, about the competition, about everything you should know. It automatically creates an enthusiasm in you. It gives the courage to face the customer. Okay. So that even if the customer has any objections, you know how to respond to those objections satisfactorily. So the first thing is that every sale has to be planned meticulously. And secondly, always have a grasp over your product. You cannot ignore these points. You should not, if you really want to be a superstar and really get great in sales. Now, he famously sold the biggest life insurance policy from just a cold call worth $100 million. Now, who is this person? Yes, he is Peter Rosengard, and he famously sold a biggest life insurance policy ever from a cold call worth $100 million. Now let's look at his statements. Now, Rosengard was a person who is considered the best insurance salesman of all time. So much so that people like Richard Branson, the owner of Virgin Airlines, also consider him as a sales mentor. Now, since he sold $100 million insurance to a person just over phone call, can you just imagine the power of his engagement with the customer? Can you just imagine the power of his engagement with the customer just over a phone call without seeing him or meeting him, without knowing his personality? Just imagine it. Isn't it amazing? Just say yes if you feel so. You can type in the comment box, right? So, what he said is that don't shy away to ask referrals from the customer. We'll come on that about the referrals. It is about the lead generation. Don't shy away to ask referrals from the customers. Okay, and don't be a bore. Develop the skill of creating engaging stories. I already have discussed about it. That develop the skill of creating engaging stories for building the trust. Okay, so these are the two things which he has emphasized. Now, I will share you my three secrets. Okay, secret one, secret two, and secret three. First, prospecting good leads is an easy job. Second, you can sell at a high price. You don't have to lower down the price just because of the competition. And secondly, good storytelling is very important for engagement. Okay, so these are the things that I'll share with you. These are the three secrets actually. The first thing is prospecting good leads is easy. Hmm? Now, the problem most of the people face is that okay, now you have created the product, you have a product or whatever or the service, but you don't really know how to generate leads. Okay, maybe you have one connections or two connections who can be your potential buyers, but how to go ahead further? So I must tell you that with my own experience that getting quality leads is more about using your existing customer contact and referrals than to depend on some inquiry portal. There are many inquiry portals today which guarantee you quality leads and so on. But trust me, out of 100 inquiries, hardly 10% or maybe just 15% are actually quality leads. Most of the leads are just useless. You don't really know whether they are going to buy or not. And you're wasting your time on that portal and on running behind those leads. But if you know a customer who has referred to you another customer, chances are that the other customer is definitely serious. Okay, so there is a much easier way to generate leads, quality leads. Always build that relation with the customer so that he refers you to the other customers. See, it is a very small market in any industry and people know each other. So if you have built the trust with say 5 customers, you can get another 5 customers or 10 customers from them. Don't be shy to ask referrals. That is the strongest way which I have discovered, and I'll share with you to generate quality leads. Otherwise, in inquiry portals, you can get hundreds of leads. But do you think they are worth? No, they are not. Okay. This I've already discussed that how to do it. Never feel shy to ask for referrals from your existing customers. Okay. Even if somebody you had a meeting with didn't buy your product, still you can ask for a referral in a polite way. Maybe he will help, maybe he will not, but still asking about it is nothing wrong. Now, what are the results of this way of finding leads? the chances of closing that deal through a reference is always more as compared to, randomly gate crashing into somebody's office and just putting up a proposal. Okay, so chances of closing a deal is more in the case of referrals. Okay, if some customer or some person has referred you to another person, you can go and tell him, I have come from here, I came to know about this information from this person, and I want to meet you. So the chances, the trust is already built, because whomever you are meeting is now thinking subconsciously that, oh, this person knows that person whom I know. So there is already a one level, you are at one level up. Okay, you are not a stranger now, subconsciously at least you are not a stranger to him now. So always there are good chances of closing a deal if you go through a referral. Secret number 2, you can also sell at a high price too. You know, I have seen people who have all spent so many years in sales. They think that, just simply going in front of the customer, telling about the product, and simply discounting and further discounting the price will help him to increase sales, which is not true at all. On the contrary, if you put a value proposition and stick to a price which is higher than your competitors, if you make the customer understand about the values that you are providing, which others are not providing, you have to sell at a high price. And obviously, high price definitely means good profitability to you. Everybody is working for profitability. Okay, selling at no profit at all is not a sales, that is charity. Okay, so you can also sell at a high price too. So first misconception you should just take out of your mind if you're new to sales is that, okay, by reducing the price I can sell it fast. No, it is not true. In fact, that degrades your value, the value of your product. Obviously you should understand that the pricing should not something out of heaven. It should not costly, something like that. You should study the market, and still if you want to keep price bit higher, let it be. Don't be scared. High price to the customer. Instead, work on how to build a value proposition for the customer in such a way that he is willing to pay the high price to you. Okay. Now, I also struggled in disclosing the price and was always unable to convince customer the price. I always thought that my product was at a higher price which I was able to sell, and which was true. It was not the price base of which I was not unable to sell. It was just because I was not able to convince the customer on the value proposition. So it's important for you to know that it is never about the price. It is about the value proposition that you are offering. Okay. So rather than working on what price should I pitch or how much price should I discount, you should rather work on what value proposition differently you can create for the customer, right? How to do it? See, there is a step-by-step method. While discussion, never disclose the price in the beginning. Okay, never disclose the price in the beginning, and whenever the customer insists, close the price. Say, I will come on that later. Okay, or you can say that I will come on that soon. Start to build a conversation that engages the customer and let him know the smallest details of your service or product. Okay. And at the time of disclosing the price, always say it will cost you this much money or this much bucks or whatever currency. It will cost you this much. Be confident when disclosing the price. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. Oh God, what he is going to think about. Be very confident. Say it will cost you this much, sir. Okay. Never disclose the. So there are two things. First, never disclose the price in the beginning of any conversation. Even if the customer insists you to disclose the price, you have to politely say, I will come on that later, or I'll come on that soon. And while disclosing the price at the end, when you have already finished with your value proposition and your storytelling and everything, you know now that okay, now this is the time. I've spent now a good time with the customer. Now the customer has that real interest in knowing the price because he wants to buy. If you feel that from inside, and you will know that now the customer is convinced. Now he wants to know the price. Okay. At that time, say it in a way like it will cost you this much. Okay. Now this statement has a very subconscious in the subconscious has a different effect on the mind. You will ask me that what is that effect? When you say that it will cost you this much bucks or this much money, it puts you at the upper pedestal and the customer at the demanding position, at the position of that, oh, if you need this, I can give you this at this cost. So always try to make a conversation in such a way that you are always at a upper end. And finally, when he asks, say that it will cost you this much bucks, and be confident about it. Don't be shy, don't be nervous. Okay. The customer might say that, oh, it's so costly, but before that, if you have built the trust and you have already pitched the value proposition in detail, chances are very less that even if you put a higher price tag on it, the customer will say, oh, it's so costly, because you have already built that foundation in the conversation. You have gone through that storytelling part, you have gone through that whole value proposition part in detail. You have already convinced him. Subconsciously he is convinced. So now the chances are that even if you pitch a high price, no, chances are less that the customer is going to question much about it. And be confident. Okay. This is how it is done. Now the results are very tested about this. As I've already said, that once the trust is built and you have made your customer understand the value proposition against the competition, you will never struggle much for the price. So as I said, this is the secret number 2. You can also sell at a higher price. But the problem is that we want shortcuts. We want to cut short the meeting. We want to just go to the customer's door and we just want to tell, this is our product, these are the features, okay, and this is the price. Will you buy it? Oh, that's the most absurd way. Okay. Always try to create a situation in which the customer is ultimately going to ask you, okay, I'm interested. How much does it cost? You have to create that situation around him. Be patient in the conversation. A single sales means a lot. Right? So, even if you are not able to sell, despite all this value proposition and pitching and everything, just because of the price, Understand one thing, not everyone is your customer. Maybe he doesn't have that much amount of money, or maybe that is not his budget, even if he likes your product and wants to buy it but cannot buy it. So he is not your customer, right? So this is the thing which you need to understand. Now, good storytelling is very important for engagement. I've discussed this before. Now I need to explain this. Why? See, it is important to build stories around your customer and a product, and that can be achieved with thorough practice. You need to practice it. Even when I started it, I was a bore in the conversation. But over a period of time, I practiced and practiced and practiced a lot. Storytelling in sales helps building trust. One should not be boring during the conversation, and being lively and energetic with some stories to tell always helps. You should know how to weave a story around the person or the personality or the product or service. How to do it? See, the basic fundamental of building a creating a story is that determine the idea which you want to communicate first. Okay, and mostly the idea should be around, as I already said, your customer or your product. Be short and punchy to maintain the attention. Don't be very long. The story should not be long and stretchy. Be very short and punchy. Practice it beforehand, even before going to the customer. Maybe rehearse it. Nothing is wrong in rehearsing. As even Steve Jobs has said that sales is a meticulously planned activity. And if you do it, do your homework well, you know beforehand what stories you have to craft around that person. You know that person, you have studied that person before. You have some idea, even if you have not studied him, you have some idea about him. You know how to create a story related to him. Just create it, write it on a paper pen, read it 2 3 times. Or maybe a story around your product. Write it and read it 2 3 times. Practice it. Okay, so that you are not nervous in front of him or you don't know how to craft. So be prepared. As I've already said, sales is a meticulously planned activity. Okay, and practice this art over and over to get results. And now, with the good storytelling, once the trust is built with the customer and he is convinced with your personality and everything, you know what? The half battle is won. Half the battle has already been won. And you will come to know for sure that, oh, now he's convinced. The body language is enough for you to understand. Now, after this, it is the time for pitching the value proposition about your product or service with extreme details. So, first step is building trust with the customer. Second step is value proposition in such a way that the customer feels a need for that product. And that value proposition has to be street smart, as I've said. It has to fit his, you know, requirement. So we'll be discussing many situations, what kind of sales there are. So you will come to know, okay, this is the situation, I will handle this in this way. If this is the situation, I will handle this in this way. Okay. So after value proposition, when the customer is in the back foot now, he will automatically ask, okay, now tell me the price. And at that moment, be confident and say, it will cost you this much. Okay. This is the way of pitching the thing. Don't be in a hurry to disclose the price. Don't be in a hurry for discounts. Always focus on building the trust and pitching the value proposition. Right? So let's move ahead. So now we discussed three secrets. First, prospecting good leads is easy. It is more about using referrals than to depend on any portals or any random inquiries. Good leads always come through good referrals. Okay. Second secret, you can sell at a high price too. Okay. And third is that good storytelling is very important for the engagement with the customers. And you have to master this art. Okay. These are the three secrets which you need to know, right? So let me ask you a question now. Old habits die hard, isn't it? If I say that old habits die hard, wouldn't it be true? Because ultimately, when you have to sell, you have to change a lot in your personality. Okay, even if you hire a person, if you don't know anything about sales, do you think that you are going to manage him effectively? He will cook up some stories every day because you don't know anything about sales. You don't know, you're afraid yourself to go in the market. You have never dealt with a customer, or maybe you have dealt just a few customers without any good success. Do you think just hiring a salesperson is going to solve the problem, or you're going to do good business with a person who damn cares about your product? No. So ultimately, you have to change your own way of thinking, and that is going to be difficult because old habits die hard, and that is what we need to practice to move from point A to point B, from where you are now to where you want to go. Okay. And one thing which is there is that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Okay. Now if you keep on doing the same methods, using the same methods, and you are expecting different results, that is never going to happen. Okay. And that is foolishness and waste of time. If you think, oh, I am correct, I'll just do the same way, I'll go and hire someone and depend on him for sales, or maybe I'll just go to the customer and put a heavy discount and I'll sell it. And but at the end of the day, you are not getting any business. Still you are not getting any business, and you are keep on repeating the same thing. Now that is insanity. So insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, and it is difficult to change your old habits, but still it is possible if you think, right? Now there are two methods for doing it. Either you do it all alone, okay, or you do it with a mentor. Okay. So if you do it alone, you will have to go from endless curves and paths, and you will still not be sure when you're going to achieve that goal. Okay. But if you do with a mentor, obviously, who has been into this, who has dealt with this hundreds and thousands of times, he knows what is important and what is irrelevant. Okay. So you have two options. Now in this blueprint, you are currently at this position where you have no idea how to go ahead. You want the business, you want money, you want to sell like crazy, but you have no idea. Now there is a fear also of facing the customer. Okay, and at the same time there is frustration also. Okay, and you want to sell like crazy and make loads of money. Okay, so I have got this course in which you will learn in phase 1 effective lead generation, customer study, master the storytelling, the art of storytelling, learning high value skill selling, street smart tips, and creating an inbound funnel. Now I'll explain you one by one what it is. From no idea and fear and frustration from where to go and how to move ahead, first thing is how to effectively generate leads, quality leads which are actually in requirement of your product or service. It will be a detailed session, it will be a detailed program, a detailed course in which you will understand and you will implement it yourself, step by step method. There will be templates to fill up, there will be exercises to do, you know. So you will learn about the methods and the way of, you know, getting referrals from the customers and, you know, generating leads effectively. Okay, and then you will have customer study, how to study your customer beforehand, how to know everything about your customer beforehand, even if you don't know, you're meeting him for the first time, how to know about him firsthand. Okay, okay, now after that you will also learn how to master the art of storytelling and sales. You will get the templates, the exercise sheets, so that you create your own stories. Okay, so you learn all this, and apart from that you will learn high value selling, in which you will learn how to pitch your product at a higher price than your competition and close the deal. And these are very practical experiences, this has been made with the practical experiences, so that you don't feel like, oh god, it's theoretical, I will face something else and when I go to the market. No, you will not, because it has been made on a very practical sense which prevails in this world. Okay, then you will learn about the street smart tips, how to be street smart, how to convert a value proposition, your value proposition, into a value proposition that fits your customer, how to be clever, how to be an on spot decision maker, so that you make money also and there is good number of sales. So these tips will be there in the street smart tips session. And then how to create an inbound funnel. Now inbound funnel is uh, creating a method in which you don't have to go anywhere. You have already excised many things and worked in such a way that now the customers are coming to you. You know, you have created that hype about yourself or whatever, uh, in the minds of the customer, that now whatever, whenever they require anything, they just come to you. You know, and this is how you will learn to create inbound funnel. And ultimately, when you are mastered in all this, nobody can stop you from selling like crazy. Nobody can stop you, obviously, at good profits, making you loads of money for sure. Isn't this amazing? Say yes if you agree. So in this sales superstar blueprint, we will guide you, you will follow us and ask questions. Okay, We will guide you, you will follow methodically, and you will ask questions that for your doubts, right? Now, what you are going to get, it is a 30 days hands-on training on how to be a sales superstar, okay, with question and answer sessions on the FB group. We create a group, FB group, the Facebook group, and there will be hands-on training for 30 days. It will be a weekly training, rather, an online training, and it will be hands-on, making you equipped, well equipped with all the sales tools, so that immediately after the training, wherever you go, you are very confident. You know how to, get the deal, close the deal. You know how to get it. You are very smart. You will become very smart. Okay, and trust me, with practice, you are going to be a sales superstar. Okay, this is what we guarantee you. I guarantee you. The second thing is, in this course you will also learn how to master Facebook ads. Now, so far, if you are into the offline products, like where your customers are not online, and you have to sell by going to their offices or their organizations to sell things. If your product or service is offline, then obviously I've already discussed so many strategies. But if your customers are online and you only want to sell it on Facebook, you still need to know how the Facebook ads work and how you can master them effectively, so that you don't waste too much money without any result. Because what happens is, with the Facebook ad, is that most of the people just don't know. They have watched some YouTube videos, they go and select the audience randomly, and then they just place the product, and they wipe out their money, like their money like anything, but without any result. There are no sales. So in this training, you will also learn about mastering Facebook ads, so that you just target the audience in such a way that you get good sales in a very less amount spent. Okay, how to find the right audience for your product on Facebook, that is what you will learn. Okay, now the value of 30 days hands-on training with question and answer on FB group is around 30,000 rupees. Okay, and for mastering FB ads in 6 days, in just 6 days, mind it, in just 6 days you will be master FB ads, and it will cost you around 7,000 rupees. Now, apart from these two trainings, we will also teach you the art of video making. There are so many places where you need to create ads for your product, video ads for your product. So how can you do this without even shooting with a camera? So, how to create video ads and any content even without shooting? Okay, value of this course will be around 5,000 rupees, right? So now what you're going to get is, first, 30 days hands-on training with question and answer on Facebook every week. Value will be 30,000 rupees. Mastering FB ads in 6 days. Value 7,000 rupees. And how to create video ads and content even without shooting. Value 500 rupees. 5,000 rupees, sorry. The total value will be rupees 42,000. Right? Now what if I say that all this you will get it in just 12,500 rupees? If all this did was to help you finally remove all the confusion and start getting confidence to face anyone in just next 60 30 days, would it be worth? And if I tell you that I will help you master Facebook ads and give the confidence to sell anything online, would it be worth? And if I say that I give you step by step process to follow any kind of business and be successful, would it be worth? Now that's a question I'm asking. Would it be worth? So you have to answer me in the comment section, right? That if I help you finally to remove all the confusion and start getting confidence to face anyone in just 30 days, and I help you also in mastering Facebook ads and the confidence to sell anything online, and also I'll help you in a step by step process to follow any kind of business and be successful, would it be worth at not 42,000 rupees but just 12,500 rupees? Think about it and tell me in the comment section right now. Okay, but not even 12,500 rupees. If I tell you that this is just 9,500, and that is just for today, join now for just 9,500 rupees today. The payment link is given here, but the offer will end tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Okay, so this is the offer, and this offer will end tomorrow, after which the price will be back to 12,500, right? So you can go to that link which is already mentioned and avail this offer, right? Now you have two choices. First option is do nothing and not take this leap of faith, which is 100% risk free. Obviously, you don't take any risk, you do nothing, you don't take leap of faith, and do anything everything by your own as you were doing, returning back to the old habits and continuing to struggle the same way, whatever. It's your choice, it's totally your choice. That's 100% risk free. Or you can choose the second option, pony up this small investment today compared to all the value that you will get in return, and just give a shot. Okay, so it's completely up to you whether you have to choose the first option or the second option to go from point A to point B in a very short time, right? Also, I'll be giving you 20-day guarantee that if you join now and do work with me, and you still if you don't feel the change in yourself, I'll give you 100% money back. Because if we cannot make you confident enough in sales, we don't deserve to take your money, right? So again, as I said, that you have two options. First option, do nothing and not take this leap of faith, which is 100% risk free. Or the second option, that you just pony a small amount today compared to all the value which you will get in return, and just give a shot. The choice is up to you. Now I tell you that I had two choices before this webinar. First, that make this course really inexpensive, very cheap, maybe say 2,000 rupees or 3,000 rupees and include as many people as possible. But I wouldn't have been able to give complete attention in that case with hundreds of people and no attention on them. That would also have been good. But I chose the second option by taking fewer people and give them complete attention and make sure that they get results. They achieve point B from point A to point B. And I want to see that change. I want you to sell like crazy. I want you to be confident in the market that people really, you know, fall for you. They just buy things from you, whatever it is, whether online or offline. You become a master in it. And you will trust me after 30 days. You will be a different person. Okay, so I had two options. I could have made this course very cheap, but I don't want a lot of people which I cannot focus on. I cannot guide them and give complete attention. I just want a few people, good people, serious people, yes, who will work hard to achieve point B, so that I can give complete attention to them and make sure they get results. Okay, so now, guys, I've already told you that what you're going to get is that 30 days hands-on training with question and answer on FB group, 30,000 value, mastering FB ads in 6 days, 7,000 value, how to create video ads and content without shooting, value rupees 5,000. So total amount will be 42,000. Okay, so but if you pay now, and this offer is valid just for one day, so by 12:30 Indian Standard Time, this offer will be invalid and you have to pay 12,500 after that if you have to avail this, right? The value is 42,000. You are not getting it at 12,500. You are getting it at 9,500. Link is given here and it is a 20-day risk-free money back guarantee. Okay, so you can start it. I'll send you the link again in your mails, and now you can ask me questions in the comment box. Okay, thank you.